What up, folks? I am Ultrazilla, and today I have a review of the Ready Player One Mechagodzilla action figure. That's right, my zillions, it is real. It is not a custom, it wasn't a scam, it's an actual product. Whether it's not an official product, that's for sure. Whether it's a third-party company, meaning it was produced, from inception to product by a company, designed and all that, or whether it's bootlegged off of somebody's possible prototype of this, I don't know. I can't speak to that. I could make some speculation though, and we'll talk about that. But what I do know is, this is a Ready Player One Mechagodzilla. I absolutely love this design. I wanted a figure of this design so bad. So when I saw that AliExpress ad for it and that it possibly wasn't a custom, I jumped on it like ASAP. Just went ahead, ordered blind, hoped for the best, and it arrived pretty quick, I have to say, for an AliExpress. And I'm glad about that, because without any further ado, let's get to this review. First and foremost, you do get an effect part. We've seen this before, haven't we? This is something from somewhere. I'm pretty sure. It's a very similar design to a Neca, though I haven't been able to find an exact match. I have some effect parts here that are not matches for it. This one came close, but it is different. This also has this giant hole here. I still feel like I have something like this here. Again, it feels like a Neca, and this whole figure does. But this effect part on its own. There was one that came with a red beam, which would have been, better. But it is what it is. This was the first one I saw, and I ordered it ASAP. And I don't really care about the beam anyway, because to tell you the truth, it doesn't really go. I guess it does stay. It stays all right. There you go. It stays all right. So if you want to paint the red, you could do that. Or you could have got the red one if you wanted. It stays in his mouth. There's no real slot though in his mouth for it. You just, the friction of the teeth. So do be careful. You don't want to bust anything. But it's fine. It's fine for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a beam. It's a blue beam or a red beam. But the sculpt is fine. There is a hole there, again, for some sort of stand that this doesn't come with. You get two missiles that are mounted on his shoulders. And I did have to heat these up. I had to heat up everything. Heat up this figure, guys. We'll talk about that in a second. But they do go in at the shoulder on a peg. There's a hole there. There is a peg there on the shoulder, and you pop it in. The missile itself looks really good. It's got a really nice wash to it. This one's a little bit warped, but, a little heat. I did heat this guy up, like I said, and I do get paint rub off of this stuff because it's very thickly applied, and it's a bootleg, really, So it's like, this stuff is, jammed into a bag, so, do be wary of that. It does rub off a bit, so you might want to treat it with something. I don't know, do what you will. This has an R on it, so right and left, I'm guessing. So I put them on the wrong side. Let's see if that says. I just noticed that now. Yep, left, right. So let's switch it, because it says to. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it on the right side, guys. Did have more of a problem with this side staying in than this side. This guy goes in well, but heat it up again. You will get paint rub when you heat things up, and you do see finger marks in certain spots on the paint. That was from me, actually. I'm pretty sure, because I was heating this guy up a lot because he was very stiff. But it looks really good with these shoulder-mounted missiles for sure. So like I'm saying, I did have to heat this guy up a lot. I used hot water. I used the hair dryer, and both, helped because he was very, very, very stiff. But when I did that, you know, I did get a lot of paint rub on there because you're heating up the plastic. And out of the bag it was in, like you could feel like heat on it, like it was in that bag, and it was starting to heat up from the travel and the different temperature shifts. So yeah, you know, you might want to let this guy dry out after you fully, you know, and you can see some places, like definitely on these missiles, the paint is laid on thicker than others, and it's just, it didn't have enough time to dry, so you really want to do that. That's happened on a lot of NECAs that I've had over the years. So that is a thing, guys. Now, I'm going to talk about that before I talk about anything else. This feels like a NECA. This feels like a NECA prototype that they didn't get to make before the license went out. Now, this is a very finished product. So, what I'm saying is there a possibility that NECA is doing this regardless? Maybe it is something that they can do, and maybe it is something that's coming out. And maybe that's why it's not available already anymore. I don't know that yet, guys. If NECA makes this, I will totally buy it again. I always support the official products. Same thing I said with the King Ghidorah that was looking like an SH Monster Arts. If they put out that SH Monster Arts show of King Ghidorah, totally buying it again. This feels like a NECA. It has that same plastic quality of a NECA. It has that weight, and the tail is attached by very similar, actually the same exact ball joints. It even came with a paper that has a NECA figure on it, Mechagodzilla, showing you how to heat up the tail and put it in. So, this, guys, I'll eat my hat if this is not a NECA prototype. Or maybe it could be somebody else's prototype, but it feels that way, guys. And, you know, it feels so finished in that way. More so than the Showa Ghidorah. The Showa Ghidorah just seemed like a mess. This seems like right off the production line. Let's steal some and maybe, I don't want to say that for sure, and make a buck. I don't know. I have no idea, but it certainly does. All right, so I really wanted to you know, let you guys know that. Again, be wary of the paint rubbing. You know, let it dry, especially if you're going to heat it up and stuff. When you heat up that type of stuff, it tends to get even more tacky. It's starting to get less tacky now. But yeah, the missiles, I think I have to redo again because they were very, very tacky still right now. But yeah, that's what I want to say about that. That all said, this thing is awesome. First and foremost, it's heavy. I just said that. It's very heavy. It feels like a quality piece. It really does. Like, it feels substantial. There is no die cast in this, which originally I thought there might have been. I felt like I heard that there was die cast in this, but it's not. It's all plastic, and you know, it is done very well. The proportions are beautiful. This is excellently done. It feels like the Ready Player One Mechagodzilla stepped right out of the, you know, movie. I mean, that speaks a lot to NECA's type of quality, in my opinion. Their products usually do, and they usually have this type of finish. So yeah, but regardless of that, this is awesome. This is very well put together, and it looks incredible. Like, again, proportions are excellent. So we're gonna bring it closer so you could really see this. It is amazing. Again, you're going to see finger marks. I do think a lot of that is mine from just handling it now. But it might have been there before. I didn't notice it there, you know. I noticed it right here. And I was messing around with this piece a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. This is pretty awesome. You see the red ball here in the middle. I think that's a little off-center on mine. Yeah, it's a little off-center, and that's a bit of a bummer. But I almost feel like it's movable, but that's the thing. I'm like doing like baby steps with this because There's a lot of parts that are like still very tight or really scary to deal with, and I don't want to push my luck. But that looks really, really good, guys. I really like this a lot. That looks really good, regardless of it being a little off-center. But it looks very good. This whole piece here looks really cool. And, you know, there's like a seam mark there, but it kind of adds to the overall design. Like, the plating here looks fantastic. And it just feels very Mechagodzilla-y. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, bad, you know, lines here and stuff across, you know, really not great. But it does lend itself to being worn metal. And that finish just, like, drives it home. I love the rivets on the belly here that go down to here. That looks really good. All of this is awesome. This chest looks really fantastic. Do love it. Then you got this piece here, which is so classic Mechagodzilla. How awesome is that? Beautifully done. I love these wires. Do be careful. I am really scared of these wires that they're going to snap. But they look really good, done in a gunmetal. Beautiful sculpt on those. Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. Then the head sculpt is fantastic. I do like it. The eyes are nice. They're painted well. The mouth looks incredible. I like the teeth. Nice and sharp. They look good. Nothing going on the inside. And the mouth doesn't open up that well. We'll take a look at the articulation in a second. But yeah, the nose looks really good. He looks great head on. His little piece here. Man, you know, when you get this as a figure, you realize how amazing the designers did making the Showa Mechagodzilla into this Mechagodzilla. They, like, really stuck to that aesthetic, and I love it. The dorsal fins look fantastic. They look really good, you know, done in various shades here of silver and metal looking. Super awesome. I love all of these pieces. It's very Godzilla. I never noticed that in the movie, how much that's so Godzilla-like, with some holes in it. That looks awesome. That really, really does. The arms look cool, even without the missiles there. That looks fine. Then you got some red in here, which looks really good. You know, I like this piece here overall, the shoulder piece. The arms look very nicely sculpted, nicely painted. You get red right there. That's painted well. This whole arm looks really good. You get the wiring on the bottom, which looks really nice. Even this part is done well. I do like it in the joint. And then you get red here on the hands. I love how the fingers look. That has a very, you know, Showa Mechagodzilla-like quality to it as well. I do appreciate and enjoy that. The legs are looking pretty good. Again, you got a lot of, like, sections where you can see the plastic is, like, kind of messy. But it adds to it because it's supposed to be, like, scuffed up and old looking in a way. I love it, you know. I mean, I don't love that completely, but it doesn't take away from me at all. I love this design that they got going on here with the shoulder blades and the top of the head and this here. That looks really cool. It's kind of like dorsal finish. I like it a lot. And the legs look good going down here. In the front, you got some more metal pieces that look like bolts, like clamping everything together. These rivets here around there look really good. Again, you got red there and red there. I like how the knee is made here. That's really cool. And you got the leg piece here, and then you got the leg piece there. I like that he stands like that. I think it's very, very awesome. That kind of like double bend. I always dug that, and for this, it just looks really good. Again, the red is perfectly paced. There's nothing wrong with the paint here, except that it rubs off a little bit. It's not quite dry. Again, that's happened to me with actual NECA figures. It has. Probably not in a while, but it has. The feet are really nice. First off, you get this piece back here. That looks great. Again, you get red pieces there and there and there. And you get this overlapping piece here, which does remind me of the Aron Norashi design. And that looks awesome. The foot actually all looks like that, you know, that kind of Chogokin style. I like it. Nothing going on the bottom. There is absolutely no markings on this figure as far as who made it. So it begs to the, you know, who is taking, you know, credit for this? Will we ever know? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely a unique piece to have. Legs look great. The legs look awesome. The feet look awesome. Then the tail here looks phenomenal. I love all the dorsal fins. They look very nice. Nothing is weird. No weird spots. Tail looks really good. It's nice and long. It's very long. It's probably the longest Mechagodzilla tail. Maybe, you know, the Playmates one has a longer tail, but this looks really, really good, guys. It really... Look at my fingers. That's not cool. So be wary of that. But it looks fantastic. This is, bar none, one of the coolest Mechagodzilla figures on the market. Well, it was on the market. That I have. As a huge Mechagodzilla fan, man, this is looking fantastic. Okay, and articulation. Again, you've heard me say it multiple times already. I've had to heat this up a few times already. The mouth just opens a bit. The head can move, but I don't know how much and how much it's getting stuck. I heated up a lot already. I'm still not getting a ton of movement out of that. You know what I'm saying? You have a piece up here that does move, but again, not getting the hugest range of motion. And then the piece here, which all cuts through here and stuff, I'm not getting a huge range of motion. Individual results will vary. Don't come at me and tell me somebody else could do it better. I don't care. I really don't. So you'll hear that in my next vlog too. Look at this. The arms do move. You can feel soft ratchets in there. Can move out a little bit, but not much. Then you do have a swivel at the very bottom of the bicep, but this one I'm not getting a lot of movement out of. This one moves a little bit better. So yeah, then you got a hinge here, which goes all the way this way and all the way that way. And then you have a hinge here. So there's that. That's about it there. Again, if you can move that a bit, you'll do a little bit better there. So then the legs, you do feel ratchet, soft ratchets there. And then the legs have a hinge here and a hinge here. And then there is movement at the foot, like some rotation here. But you get individual results are going to vary again, and do be careful, do heat it up and all that. The tail has 2 points of articulation. You got one big ball joint there and one big ball joint there. So yeah, biggest issue is the tackiness, and it's getting worse. Not that it's tacky, but I guess because I'm moving the joints around and stuff and I'm getting in there. So, but yeah, you're going to have to find a way to get this guy a little finished. The articulation's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. There is a lot of it. That is for sure. And again, I think your results are going to vary depending on how well you're able to free up your joints. Like this arm is pretty free right now, and you can move it out a little bit more than this guy. So, you know, it's going to depend on how things go. But again, do be careful, not just because it's a bootleg, but also because it's possible that it's a Neca bootleg, and you know how their joints work, and you know how you have to heat them up to avoid breakage. For your size comparisons, first up, here he is with a bunch of other Mechagodzillas you might have in your collection. Here it is with a couple of Necas, and it actually scales pretty decently with Kong here. It's pretty tall, although kind of, sort of, he's a little wide. I feel like he's made more for this scale, because here he is with a Neca Godzilla, probably one of the bigger ones. And, yeah, he's a little bit big for those, don't you think? He's a little bit big. Does that, point away from it being a NECA? I don't know. Because the quality and the finish still rings NECA to me. But seriously, who cares about all those other figures? This is what I want it for. Sentinel Iron Giant, Gundam Universe, Gundam RX-78, or you could use the smaller one. He was pretty small. This is the Robot Spirits. Whichever one you want to use. This is what I want it for. And my final thoughts. It's pretty awesome. It's perfect. It looks exactly like the Ready Player One. The finish is fantastic. Yes, there's some weirdness with the plastic here and there, where it gets a little swirly plastic that lines in the plastic. But it sort of adds to that. And I've always said that about things that are supposed to be metallic. It kind of adds to it. It looks great. The articulation is fine. You do have to heat it up. But, the biggest problem for me is the tackiness to it. I wish the paint was a little bit drier, but again, that's happened to me with NECA products, official NECA products before. And I actually did a video on drying one of my NECA Kaiju with that. So this is a problem I've dealt with before on NECA products. And I keep saying NECA because I really do feel like this might have been a NECA prototype. It is very, very perfectly designed, and it has all the trademark NECA things going for it. So is it? I don't know. Is it something that they canceled because of the license? I don't know. Is it something that they still have in the works? I don't know. All I knew was I had to get this because this might not be available anymore, and currently it is not. So I am not sure why, but I'm glad I got in on it as soon as I saw those pre-orders up. And it is quite awesome, guys. It is quite awesome. It checks all the boxes for me for a Ready Player One Mechagodzilla. I don't really care about the effect part. That just seems like a throw-in. If you are still available to get this, if it is available to get somewhere, or it becomes available again, I would just skip the effect part. I don't think it's great. I think it looks great without it. The missiles are really nice, and that's really all I need. It looks fantastic. That's the bottom line. I can't believe it's real, and it looks fantastic. And that's it, guys. That's my review. Hope you dug it. It cost me about $50, and I got it on AliExpress. Just saying it again, because I'll get asked about it a million times over. Thanks for watching. Till next time, peace out, peeps.